Good morning. This is Christy from the Be the Light YouTube channel. I thank you so much for stopping by. I send you love today, tomorrow, and continuously. First, let me say, if you can hear the music in the background, I do not own the rights to the music. This video is going to be about making everything in your life a spiritual experience. And that's something that I have worked my way up to. I have been doing this for a year and a half. This has been my awareness to my awakening process, where I have become mindful. And I practice this with purpose. But a little background is that I was never a religious person. I have probably been to church maybe about 5 or so times, a handful of times. I was very uncomfortable in that type of setting. I have believed in God and Jesus Christ all of my life. But believing and having a life that's built around it are two different things. It wasn't until, in 2015, I began my health journey. I was immobile for about 15, 16 years after an auto accident. I was very limited. The chronic pain that I experienced took its toll upon me, physically, emotionally, and spiritually as well. But it all ended up having a purpose in bringing me to where I am today. And I am very grateful to all of it. So I became an online fitness coach in 2017, where I really, really thought I was going to be a health coach for the rest of my life. I thought that I was going to give purpose to those people who especially were dealing with limitations and chronic pain, and giving them back their hope and showing them how to find their way back out. That's what I thought. About a year into being an online coach, I kind of was losing my way again, and it didn't feel right. But one thing that kind of stuck with me that increased with time is the personal development part of it. I didn't like some of the books that they were recommending or that I was searching about and trying to read, about just being positive and setting time throughout your day for affirmations and positivity and things like that. It wasn't reaching me on a higher level like I was needing. I still practice those things, being mindful and being positive, being aware, but I needed something more. And one day, someone gave me this book, The Purpose-Driven Life, and I began to read that, and I want to say thank you to Melissa for the book. It has opened the door to me, my spirit. So on top of reading that book, I ended up going back to the Bible. I have had a very hard time understanding the deeper verses in the Bible, and which is, for the most part, the reason why I kind of refrain from trying to understand it. And so I would go back and forth from the book to the Bible, and then I downloaded the app to have a daily verse. So I ended up spending at least an hour in the morning just on trying to read the Bible or taking in God's Word. Because I understood then I was building a relationship. I didn't know that then, but as I look back, I was building a relationship with someone that I never knew, that I never felt, but dearly needed. And so that's where it began. Even though when that began, I still had tons of chattering in my mind and pain in my heart. And I began to create stillness. I had so much going on in my mind and in my heart that I had to use it. I had to create stillness while listening to music. Just anything that was calming that would get me to relax a little bit is what I used. And that's where eventually I developed or increased my clairvoyant abilities, because this is something that I have always had, but one I was in denial about, and two, I was very afraid of having, because of how society is. Well, that began to increase. It began to increase to the point where I was able to connect with God on a personal basis. And He would speak to me. Sometimes I could hear His voice. Sometimes I would just receive messages, words, numbers, whatever it is, or just know. But for the most part, He would guide me to certain places in the Bible. And sometimes to places in the Bible that have been omitted from today's version of the Bible. And that's how I began to, one, increase this relationship between the Father of all fathers and the Creator of all things, and with myself. And this great love began to flow within me. He taught me so much about myself, about how beautiful I truly am, how strong I am, how capable I am, and how we are never separate from Him. But throughout that process required a lot of healing, a lot of fear, and dealing with all that brokenness. The things that we believed to be true that others said, or the things that we told ourselves was true about us, which was all a lie. The things that we suppressed, the things we hid, hated, all had to come back up and be dealt with. That was the most difficult part of all of this here. But it's a very necessary part. And so the title of this video is Doing Everything for a Spiritual Purpose. And that's the way that life is supposed to be. If you wake up and brush your teeth, and if you were to actually create a spiritual message with it, or doing it with great purpose to enhance your spirit, to do things in every single thing, whether brushing your teeth, washing your hair, sweeping the floor, dancing, laughing, and you're doing it for a higher purpose. You enhance your spirit. You increase your connection with God in all things. I try to do that all the time. It's always on my mind. How can I see this as a message? Or how can I make this into its greatest good? How can I be my best self by doing this? It doesn't mean I'm perfect. It doesn't mean my house is spotless. It's far beyond spotless. It just means that when I do sweep the floor, I'm doing it with intent to bring purpose with it, instead of the other way, where before I used to be so upset that I'm always sweeping the floor, where there's always dishes to be done, the trash just piling up, the laundry is never getting done. When we begin to just do that in our normal, everyday life, the things that we are so accustomed to doing on a daily basis, it shifts to everywhere outside of our home, outside of our own existence, to how can I approach this situation that's taking place now outside of me and create a higher purpose, a message to enhance your spirit, to enhance your life. And it ends up giving you the life that you have always dreamt about, the peace, the calmness, the beauty, the freedom, and love that we have always been searching for. This is Christy. Much love, health, and healing your way. I am bringing purpose to your life. Take care.